without him, you'll know that. You'll know that. If you can't, then you play him and you keep your fingers crossed. Same thing with Roddy White. Otherwise, Harry Douglas, I think, is a must-play. If you have to go grab Devin Hester and pick him up and plug him in, you can, but hopefully that will not be the situation. Oh, and by the way, with Julio Jones, understand it's a labrum injury in his hip. There's not much description of it, if it's a tear, if it's a sprain, what it is. But it's a pretty substantial injury, so I could see him missing another week. For the Saints, start them all. Drew Brees, Mark Ingram, Pierre Thomas, Marcus Colston, Kenny Stills, Jimmy Graham. I can tell you that Mark Ingram had a good game against the Falcons back in week 1 with 60 yards rushing, 2 rushing TDs. Pierre Thomas looked great last week, working out of the backfield. I think he makes for a flex option. Marcus Colston is a wide receiver 3. He certainly stepped it up in the offense since they lost Brandon Cooks. Kenny Stills has been pretty steady and pretty solid as a wide receiver 3, so you can look to him too, somebody who can get you 60 to 80 yards receiving. And Jimmy Graham, look, 3 out of the last 5 games, he sucked. He shouldn't suck in this one. Play him. Saints win.
All right, we're at the halfway point of the rundown, and guess what? We are on time, folks. We're going to take a break, one short break, 3 minutes. Listen to this, some nice music. When we come back, the second half of the schedule, 585-633-7487 for your lineup questions, 585-633-7487. You're listening to the FantasyGreek.com's Week 16 starts and sits in 60 minutes on Late Night Sports Radio. Millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Got a player who's hurt? No problem. Injuries won't derail your shot at victory because it's like a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. Pick your team in minutes. You could be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000. Another turned $2 into $10,000. And a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day just playing fantasy football at DraftKings. Head to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play free in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at LateNightSportsRadio.com.
TheFantasyGreek.com's Week 16 starts and sits in 60 minutes, the Championship Week edition. Perfect song for it. Pressure! Not for somebody like me, of course. For the guy that's playing me, definitely.
I'm glad you are just so exuberantly confident over your big game.
I'm the guy that makes fantasy leagues fun. Because
I could see that. I mean, you're laughable. I'd laugh at you all the time.
Oh, yeah, because I just talk crap, and sometimes I don't need any real evidence behind the crap I talk. I just talk for the sake of talking.
Such as your 23-minute tirade of the Bears the other night?
Did you hear it? Did you go back and listen to it by any chance?
I haven't yet. I mean, you told me what it was all about. And,
you know what yet means, folks? Yet is a nice way of saying I won't, and I don't. I haven't, and I don't care, so stop bothering me about it. That's what that means. I can see through you like a pair of cheap drapes.
Ouch! Oh man! Talk about a draft.
I'm all fired up. All right.
But I'm sure it was good, Keith. I'm sure it was good.
Thanks. Appreciate it. 585-633-7487. If you have any lineup questions of your own, 585-633-7487. So back on the track here. The Patriots at the Jets, 11-3. The Jets 3-11. The Jets do play somewhat decent defense to a certain point, and then their backs break usually. So I can't break this game down anymore. The Patriots are just the better team. I'm picking New England.
Yeah, I mean that goes without saying. This is a game where, except for one player on the Jets, you're starting all your Patriots. You're starting Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Brandon LaFell, Robert Gronkowski, and the Patriots' defense and special teams, whatever it takes, by any means necessary, start them. For the Jets, the only player I could see possibly somebody playing is Chris Ivory, and that's if they have them. And they're sort of looking back and forth for their RB2s. I mean, I have them sort of as a solid RB2 this week. There's nothing about the matchup to really, to say, except the Patriots give up about 105 yards rushing per game and the occasional TD, and that's the most you could expect from Chris Ivory. Otherwise, the Patriots win, and the Patriots should win handily. Back to you, Keith.
The Kansas City Chiefs travel to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 8-6 Chiefs and the 9-5 Steelers. You know what, kids? The Chiefs showed me something last week. I know they were only playing the Raiders, but that was a team that beat them a couple weeks ago. But they won, and they won handily at home, 31-13, and that is important because it's a game they should have won and won handily. The defense, for all of their knocks, are only averaging 18.1 points allowed per game. You translate that to Pittsburgh, who's as up and down as they come. They have lost some games at home that have just been ugly. They've lost to Tampa Bay at home. They've lost to New Orleans at home, New Orleans is not an outdoor team. They're not a grass team, and they still went into Pittsburgh and won that. Even though New Orleans is a good team, I get it. That's a game Pittsburgh should have been able to win. On the upside for Pittsburgh, Le'Veon Bell has really come on the last 4 or 5 weeks and been a force, whether it's rushing or receiving. But he has really been, I think, a stabilizing force in that offense. The question is, will the defense show up long enough to get it done? I think they will. at home. I'm picking the Steelers.
Keith, the Kansas City Chiefs, they haven't shown me much of anything except Jamal Charles is an automatic start in fantasy football this week and every week. For the Steelers, Big Ben's a low QB1, ranked number 11 on the fantasygreek.com. Le'Veon Bell, weekly must start. Antonio Brown, weekly must start. Martavius Bryant, he's a wide receiver 3 this week, but a consideration. So you don't have to play him. Just look at your other wide receivers and see what kind of matchups they have and pick accordingly. And Heath Miller, I got to tell you, he does enough for me every week that he's an option. He tends to get something. It may not be 100 yards in a TD, but he could possibly do it. Look, if you've been hit or miss on your tight end options and you just need something safe, you can always go with Miller. Otherwise, for example, I like Dwayne Allen this week. He would be a better start than Heath Miller. Go to the fantasygreek.com or player rankings, and you can learn more there. Keith, Steelers at home.
The Green Bay Packers travel to Tampa to take on the 2-12 Buccaneers. The Packers had a big case of the dropsies last week against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. I don't think that's going to happen quite this time. The Packers are a team of pride. They are well coached, well led. They have one of the better quarterbacks in the league. There's no way they put two stinkers together on the road. I'm picking the Packers.
Yeah, there's no way, Keith. You're absolutely right. Packers should go in and just clobber the Buccaneers. They're giving up way too many points on defense, 26.2 per game. We're talking about if they give up their average of 250 pass yards per game, that's 2 to 3 touchdowns for our friend Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers disappointed you the last couple weeks, he's not going to disappoint you this week. Jordy Nelson won't disappoint you. Randall Cobb won't disappoint you. The Packers defense won't disappoint you. Eddie Lacy won't disappoint you. You start all those guys. For the Buccaneers, I like Mike Evans. He's a must-start at this point in fantasy football. Vincent Jackson is a wide receiver 3 consideration and not a weekly must-start, but certainly a consideration. He's shown some resilience these last few weeks, and if they could get their quarterback situation straightened out, we could see a much different Buccaneers pass offense next season. Packers on the road. Keith.
The New York Giants travel to the St. Louis Rams. The Rams, the same Rams whose defense has not allowed a touchdown in 3 weeks since they lost to the San Diego Chargers 27-24. Shutting out Oakland 52-0, shutting out Washington 24-0, and losing last week to the Arizona Cardinals 12-6. The Giants, big winners against Tennessee 2 weeks ago, 36-7, coming off that 1 point loss in Jacksonville. That's just inexcusable. Washington, they beat Washington last week, 24-13. The Giants have a brand shiny new toy named Odell Beckham Jr. He's making Eli Manning's life a lot easier. The question is, do you believe that the Rams defense is going to allow that to happen? It's a tough sell. As a fantasy owner that now has to start Eli Manning and Odell Beckham Jr. in the same lineup, I'm praying I'm wrong, but I'm picking the Rams.
Keith, I'm picking the Rams at home, too. They've just been a defiantly good defense there in St. Louis. Who knows what it is? It must be something in the water. But the reality is it's a tough place to win it. That having been said, for the Giants, Odell Beckham, he is a must-start. You pointed out how good he's been. Whether it's 1 TD, 2 TDs, I think he gets a score for you in fantasy if you have him. He's the only must-start on the Giants, and then the only must-start for the Rams would be Trey Mason. The Giants are very generous to opposing running backs, giving up 135 rushing yards per game as well as almost 1 TD per game. Everybody else that could possibly be considered, they're possible starts, but they're not must-starts. So, for example, I don't believe Rashad Jennings will play this week. So if you have Andre Williams on your roster, he does make for a low RB2 or sort of a flex play. I would consider more of a flex play, but not a must-start given the matchup. Larry Donnell, a tight end for the Giants. He's been a disappointment these last few weeks. He's not a must-start either. I would, if I had Dwayne Allen, I'd start Dwayne Allen over Larry Donnell just because of the matchup that Allen has as opposed to Donnell. For the Rams, Stedman Bailey, wide receiver 3, not a must-start. The Rams DST, they would be the other starter in this game. You got to start them at this point. They've just been too good, and too good as of late. Rams will win.
The Indianapolis Colts travel to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys win, and they win the division. It's that simple. If they lose They open the door. They leave the barn door open. However, the Colts on the road, 4-2 on the road. They even